Alright, let's try an example of vertex form. If you go back to I think this is the first problem we did. You can get that from your partner or take a picture. In that last problem we did, I gave you f of x equals negative x squared plus 6x minus 8. And now we're going to transform this into vertex form. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move over this negative 8 to give us a little bit more space. I have y equals negative x squared plus 6x minus 8. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this here an a value that's positive. So I'm going to factor out a negative 1. Class, if I factor out a negative 1, then this becomes what? X squared, this one, minus 6x. Now this is probably the most difficult part, so feel free if you just put your pencil down and just watch. What I'm doing here is basically I'm completing the square. We've actually reviewed completing the square earlier this year. To complete the square here in purple, let's review. Completing the square has an equation. Completing the square, it's b divided by 2 squared. You guys remember that? And the b value I need to get is from inside the parentheses. Everyone say inside? Inside. So I have negative 6 squared. Sorry, negative 6 divided by 2 squared. Class, negative 6 divided by 2 is? And negative 3 squared is? Positive 9. I'm going to put a positive 9 here. Just watch. Negative 1 times x squared is negative x squared. Negative 1 times negative 6x is positive 6x. Negative 1 times a positive 9 is? Negative 9. Yesterday I came home and the bank sent me a letter. Wasn't bad, wasn't good. They said they deposited a bonus into my account which I didn't earn. And then they just informed me that they took it out. So if they gave me a bonus of, say, $200 and they took away the $200, did my bank account really change? No. So here in math, you need to do the same. We can't just subtract 9. So the opposite of negative 9 is positive 9. You can pick up your pencil now and follow along. In completing the square now, we're just going to factor this one here. To factor this, I'm just going to use my X box. If you haven't learned already, you only need the X when your A value is equal to 1 here. A times C is 9. Your B value is negative 6. Two numbers that multiply to be positive 9, but add to be negative 6. What two numbers, class? Negative 3 and negative 3. These two become my factors. And class, what is 9 minus 8? Positive 1. So I now have two of these. This becomes a perfect trinomial square. And basically, to match the vertex, you just copy down information about vertex form. So I'm going to write that right below it. And you'll see why we use completing the square. Don't include the minus sign because that's in the formula. My h value now is 3. My k value is 1. And you'll notice that this now matches what we got over here. So to summarize, I was given standard form, and I can find the vertex. I was also given standard form. I can change it to vertex form using completing the square.